Good morning, Wong Scholars. So one of the books that I wanted to read to you before we weren't able to go to school anymore was Friends. This was going to be the next short read that I was going to share so that we could talk about some great ideas and how people overcome problems and how we as readers and writers can think about adding this into our own writing, the style of writing. Okay, so the first story that I'm going to read to you is called The Friend Who Changed My Life by Pam Muñoz Ryan. Okay. I hated being the new kid at school. I was in the 5th grade and my family had moved to a new neighborhood. Already with a size 9 shoe, my feet were an awkward atrocity. My curly brown hair, the result of the religious use of pink rubber curlers, stayed wholesomely off my face with hair clips. How was I to know that straight ponytails and short, blunt bangs were the rage at the school? Since I hadn't yet adopted the no sock look, my sense of style didn't mesh either. I wanted to fit in, but I didn't have all necessary confidence to escape. I walked around with a nose in a book. Unfortunately, I wore the vulnerability like a brand new pair of milk white Keds, all too ready to be scuffed. A bully took advantage. Her name was Teresa. She was tiny, wiry, and loud, with blonde bangs and the mandatory tightly pulled back ponytail. I swore she walked with a deliberate swagger just to get her ponytail to swing back and forth. For a reason unknown to me, she decided that I was worthy of her undivided attention, and every day she waltzed up to me and kicked me in the shins or in the back of the legs. I could expect a wallop any time I was off guard. While I was standing in line to go to class after recess, on my way out of the girls' bathroom, or as I pushed my lunch tray along the counter in front of the cafeteria ladies, bam! Teresa was smart and quick. No teacher ever saw her. My legs were black, blue, purple, and green within a week. My mom noticed the marks, but I pacified her by saying that I played on the jungle gym at recess and had bruised them on the bars. I could tell from my mom's expression that she was suspicious of my story. She made me promise I'd play somewhere else. I knew that if I kept coming home with molted legs, one of my parents would eventually go to my teacher. I could only imagine the price I'd have to pay among the other kids if I was seen as both the new kid and a crybaby tattletale. I used to lie in bed every night dreading school and trying to figure out complicated routes to walk from one place to another so Teresa couldn't get to me easily. I had a convoluted method of getting to my classroom, which involved walking outside the fenced schoolyard and entering the rounds at the opposite end of the campus, then working my way through the kindergarten playground. At recess and lunch, I stayed in open spaces on the grassy field because if I saw Teresa coming, I could at least run. One day, Teresa chased me on the playground, about to close in with yet another successful attack. Frantically, I ran away from her, glancing back every few seconds to see where she was. I looked to one side and was relieved when I didn't see her, thinking she had given up. I stopped abruptly and turned around, unaware that Teresa had been running full speed toward me from the other side. She didn't expect my sudden stop and collided into me and bounced toward the ground. A group of kids standing nearby laughed. Angry, Teresa got up and began kicking me with a fury over and over. I scraped on my knee open and blood trickled down my leg. As much as I wanted to, I didn't cry. I just stood there and took it. Mary Lou, also in the 5th grade, was the tallest and biggest girl in the entire school, including the 6th graders. She wasn't fat, but was sturdy and big-boned and strong. Her red hair, thousands of freckles, and fair skin gave her a gentle giant appearance. Still, no one ever messed with her. When Mary Lou shoved her way through the crowd of kids and took my elbow, everyone backed away, including Teresa. Mary Lou ushered me to the girls' bathroom. As I stood there shaking, she took a wad of paper towels, wet them, and handed them to me, and pointed to my bloody leg. So, Teresa's been bothering you. I nodded, hoping that the next words out of Mary Lou's mouth would be, well, I'm going to take care of her for you. I had visions of having a personal hero to protect me. Fantasies of Mary Lou escorting me around the school with a protective arm over my shoulder, clobbering anyone who came near me. Instead, Mary Lou said, you can't keep letting her do this to you. She's never going to stop unless you make her stop. Get it? I didn't really get it, but I nodded. Listen, she's a pain, but if you don't stick up for yourself, things will get worse. You know that, don't you? How could it get worse? I was already paralyzed with fear, and it turned into a whipping post for some girl who was half my size. Besides, what did Mary Lou mean about sticking up for myself? Did she want me to fight Teresa? That idea terrified me more than being kicked every day. I'm not kidding, said Mary Lou. And if you don't do something, I'm going to start hitting you too. Understand? She made a fist and held it in front of my face. I thought about Mary Lou's size and weight and gulped. Things could definitely get worse. Yes, I whispered. Okay then, get back out there. Now? Does she mean stand up for myself right now? I walked back to the playground with Mary Lou smugly following behind. I couldn't see a way out of the situation. In front of me was Teresa, and in back of me was Mary Lou. The first bell rang, and the kids began to assemble in their assigned lines on the blacktop in front of their classrooms. In a few minutes, the second bell would ring, and teachers would walk out and get their students for class. The yard duty teacher was out on the grassy field blowing her whistle and rounding up the stragglers. As usual, no teacher would be around to witness my destruction. Teresa stood in a huddle of girls. Mary Lou nudged me toward her. I had never started a fight before in my life. I had never hit anyone and didn't have an inkling of what to do. My inside shook worse than my outside. When Teresa saw me approaching, she set her mouth in a grim line, marched toward me, and swung her leg back to haul off and kick me. I jumped back to avoid the kick. I made a fist and flailed my arm wildly in some sort of ridiculous motion. Pop! In a miraculous blow, I caught Teresa in the nose and blood sprayed across her clothes. I didn't know which of us was more surprised. I don't remember what happened next. I know we brawled on the blacktop. Gritty sand scraped the bare skin on my arms. I would notice the burns later. As we rolled over and over, tiny pebbles embedded in my face. One of them made a substantial puncture that didn't heal for weeks. The pock remained for years. I'm not sure who separated us and broke it up. In a matter of minutes, someone retrieved the yard duty teacher, and she corralled and ceremoniously walked us to the principal's office. I, the nice girl, the good girl, was going to the principal's office for fighting. Devastated, I hung my head. So, readers, there's one word that I kind of wanted you to figure out using context clues. This word right here, pacified. So my mom noticed the marks, but I pacified her. by saying that I played on the jungle gym at recess and had bruised them on the bars. What do you think the word pacified mean? I want you to think about this question, and tomorrow I'll see you for the next part of the book. Thank you for listening and watching. I miss you all.